Have you ever felt your heart pounding, your breath catching, and the world closing in around you? That was Emily's reality. For years, panic attacks were a constant shadow, turning everyday moments into potential battlegrounds: the grocery store, a crowded elevator. Even a simple phone call could trigger that overwhelming wave of fear. It felt like she was trapped in her own mind, a prisoner to her anxiety. But Emily was a fighter. She started small, with deep breathing exercises. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It sounded simple, but it was an anchor in the storm. She practiced mindfulness, learning to observe her thoughts without letting them control her. Slowly, day by day, she started reclaiming her life. She went to the grocery store, took the elevator, and even made that dreaded phone call. Each small victory felt like a monumental achievement. She started to believe she was finally winning. Then, one Tuesday, it happened. A stressful day at work, a missed bus, and suddenly, the familiar tightness gripped her chest. The world started to spin. The panic was back, fierce and unforgiving. It felt like all her progress had been erased in an instant. She was devastated, thinking she was right back where she started. But as she sat on a park bench, the wave of panic slowly receding, she realized something profound. This wasn't a failure. It was just a part of the journey. Recovery isn't a straight line. It's a path with twists, turns, and sometimes you stumble. But stumbling doesn't mean you've forgotten how to walk. Her progress wasn't gone. It was the reason she could sit here now, breathing through the aftermath. Instead of letting it consume her completely, she had the tools. She knew what to do. This setback wasn't a stop sign. It was just a reminder that healing is a process. And it's okay to not be okay sometimes. If Emily's story resonates with you, know that you're not alone. Help is available, and taking that first step is a sign of incredible strength. Resources like the National Alliance on Mental Illness and the Anxiety and Depression Association of America can provide support and guidance. Your journey matters. Thanks for watching, and take care. Emily thought she was failing. Collapsed in a parking garage, shaking, keys on the ground. She wondered if healing had ever really started. She sat against the cold concrete wall. Knees pulled to her chest, cars passed, footsteps echoed, her body stayed frozen. A stranger asked if she was okay. She nodded, didn't trust her voice. She waited until the shaking slowed before standing. Drove home with both hands clenched around the steering wheel, didn't turn on the radio, didn't take phone calls, just breathed, in, out, over and over. At home she sat on the edge of her bed and stared at the floor, angry, ashamed, exhausted. She thought, I'm back at the beginning, I ruined it, I can't do this. The old story came rushing in. You're broken, you waited too long, you should be better by now. That night she didn't sleep. She replayed the moment in the garage until sunrise. 2 days later she told her therapist everything. The dropped keys, the memory surge, the panic, the humiliation. She waited for disappointment. Instead, the therapist nodded, softly, and said, that wasn't failure. That was your nervous system doing exactly what it learned to do. The difference now is that you noticed, you stayed, you didn't disappear inside it. Emily blinked, stayed. She had thought she collapsed. They talked about setbacks, about how healing isn't a straight line, about how safety builds in layers, about how deeper memories only surface when the body thinks it might finally survive them. That part scared her. And made sense. They didn't dive into the memory. Not yet. They slowed everything down. Feet on the floor, breath steady, eyes scanning the room. Name 5 blue things. Name 3 sounds. Stay here. Now, Emily cried. But she didn't leave her body. That was new. Over the next week she practiced again. Not perfectly, but consistently, she learned to catch the first whisper of panic instead of waiting for the scream. Jaw tightening, breath shortening, shoulders rising, she softened sooner, moved slower, spoke kinder to herself. One afternoon she went back to the same parking garage, not to punish herself, just to walk through it, heart beating. But steady, she paused halfway and pressed her palm to the wall, cold, solid, real. She whispered, "I'm here, it's 2026, I'm safe." Her chest fluttered, then settled. She kept walking. Weeks later she sat in a cafe when someone dropped a tray behind her. Metal clanged, loud. Her body jumped. Then he stopped. She breathed, stayed in her chair, finished her coffee, and laughed afterward because she couldn't remember the last time she'd done that. Healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant remembering without being destroyed. It meant living while carrying the past instead of being dragged by it. Emily still had hard days, still moments that surprised her, but she trusted herself now. Her body wasn't the enemy, it was learning. If trauma keeps coming back for you, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your nervous system learned how to protect you, and with enough safety, it can learn something new. Emily's story isn't about perfection, it's about patience, about showing up again, about choosing gentleness in a world that taught her to brace. If this story sounds like you, you're not alone. Follow HealLab for more real stories, practical tools, and guidance for healing in real time. Because healing isn't a race, it's a relationship with your nervous system, and it changes one safe moment at a time.